Hey, what's up, you guys? Yes, welcome to a special video of the episode of podcast. Today's it's a video or whatever, audio too, for all you audio listeners. Sorry, I always make a video for it too. Today I'm gonna be talking about my dog who just passed away, Tommy. He passed away March 9th of 2023. So it's only been a few days as of recording this. It's the 11th, I believe. Yeah, it's the 11th. I might post this today actually, so who knows. I want to make this video because I want to remember Tommy. I want to remember everything. And I'm afraid time will cease to feel like he's here. I wake up every morning these past few days thinking, oh, I gotta walk the dog. But now I don't have to walk him. So I never talked about how we adopted him. We adopted him from a shelter in Newark, New Jersey, when we used to live in Newark, back in 2018. There was a lot of pits and a lot of like more traditionally aggressive dogs, aggressive in quotation marks, because those dogs were not aggressive. At least most of them weren't. I'm sure a couple of them were, but I always liked those type of dogs. I always liked Rottweilers, pits, boxers. I love those type of dogs. I love German Shepherds. I love Huskies. That's why I wanted to be a dog walker in the first place. It was because of how much I love animals. I had a bird, well, a couple of birds, a cat, a dog, all at the same time. But obviously, animals don't have the same lifespan as humans, and when they get sick, sometimes they get too sick and pass away, and that's what happened with Tommy. I wanted to make this video yesterday, but I was a complete disaster yesterday. Tommy wasn't just a dog to me. He was my best friend. I remember seeing him every day, hanging out. I haven't been on my podcast in over a month, and that's because I was dealing with my dog, actually. I tried to record an episode like a few days ago, and I might post it still. It might even say episode 2, because I recorded that one before this one, before my dog died, and I even talk about how he's not doing great, and that's because he wasn't. All of February, he started with a not so good leg. His leg kind of just stopped working all of a sudden, like late July, and we went to the vet like a few days later, because it wasn't getting any better, and we couldn't figure out what the heck was going on, and the doctors couldn't figure out what was wrong with him. And we kept trying to figure out like what could we do, and they gave us steroids to help that it might have been like a tumor or something in his brain that swelled up, and so the steroids was going to help it swell down, and it didn't do it. It didn't do its job, or it didn't do it good enough. And as I went to go get another job so I can afford Tommy's medical bills, and that's another reason why I've been so busy, is because I've literally just been working and trying to put in those hours so I can afford Tommy's medical bills. And so, in a way, I hate that I did it because I got to spend less time with my dog. Oh my god, I'm gonna choke up. I spend less time with my dog, but I really thought we had time. I really thought, like, his leg, whatever, but at least we'll have the money to get whatever treatments, and if we have to amputate, we'll have the money. Because I would rather have a 3-legged dog than no dog at all. But it wasn't just his leg. He started losing a lot of weight. He lost almost 40 pounds. Or like 30-ish, 35 pounds to 40 pounds. I don't remember exactly the number. But he did lose a lot of weight in like less than a month. And he wasn't eating a lot. And we tried to give him even like just food that we know he can't have. Like our food, like chicken and like rice and just whatever else that was obviously safe for him to eat, but he shouldn't be having because like it's not good to have. But I wanted him to eat because he wasn't eating his dog food, and no matter what we gave him, he just didn't want it. And or he would just pick at it and just like eat the smallest amount of it. And then like it was just progressively getting worse over time, but it didn't get worse until like last week and a little bit of this week, where he started peeing blood. But it wasn't just normal just peeing. He had a urinary tract infection. But that didn't happen until this week, I believe. But he lost all, not mobility. He lost all like bodily like autonomy or whatever. I don't know what it's called. Basically, he couldn't control when he pooped and peed, and it was just coming out of him without him even realizing it. He was losing feeling everywhere, and the only reason I think why he even had strength in the first place was because the steroids I was giving him, because he was barely able to get up. He would stand up, but he would like position himself so weirdly, and it felt like even his back leg was giving out on him. He was just not okay. He wasn't happy. He was constantly crying. He was constantly crying, and I couldn't do anything about it. There wasn't much I could do. I couldn't afford the medical bills. But I hope he knows how much I love him. You guys are gonna see me cry. I just wanted to know how much I loved him, and I'll always love him. He was my big baby. I still can't believe he's gone, because I had a whole thing I wanted to do this year with him. I wanted to take him hiking again, because we took him hiking last year and it was so fun. It was his first time going hiking, and we let him off leash, and it was so great because he didn't like run off, because he loved us. He didn't want to like lose us. So I want to take him hiking. I wanted to get him a new bed, because right now he has like a little couch, but I wanted to get him like a proper bed. So I was like saving up so I could get him a bed. And now there's no point. There's no point in getting him a bed or going on walks with him. No more cuddles. We always used to cuddle. He used to hang out. I used to put my feet on top of him like a little rest. And he loved it. He just loved human interaction. He loved people. Everyone who met him loved him because he was such a good boy. Like, he would bark in the beginning because he doesn't know you, and then once he sees your character, he just loves you, and he just wants all the attention, and he was just great. And my family's really upset. And the day we put him down, like, I was just telling him how much I love him. And I'm sorry I couldn't do more. I'm sorry you got sick. They told us that he had cancer in his spine, which is the reason why it caused his leg to stop working. And that's why his body was just shutting down in like the last few days before he died. He just started smelling like fish. Sorry if my cat's like moving everything. And so his body was just shutting down on him. And so he couldn't anymore. And I didn't want him to die in the house by himself because I'm working or my family's working and no one's home. I didn't want him to die alone. So I was like, if he's gonna die, I'd rather him die with everybody that he loves. Sorry. I just love him a lot. I should have gotten water. But he died in my arms as I told him I love him and that I'm sorry and that I hope to see him again. I believe in reincarnation and even an afterlife, and I wonder if he's going to be reincarnated or just stay somewhere in the universe. But in a way, I hope he reincarnates and I hope I meet him again. In a way, I also believe he is my old dog Max. I believe he's my old dog Max. Sorry, my cat's here. You probably knows how much I'm crying, like a little baby. If you guys have a problem with me crying, I don't give a shit, honestly. I can click off. But in a way, this podcast episode was for me. So I can cry forever, because I'm a big crybaby. But yeah, he died in my arms, and I wish I could just be selfish and just keep him forever. But he was in so much pain. He couldn't get up anymore. He was just peeing blood everywhere. He peed blood all over the vet. We were like so sorry, you know. He couldn't control it. His body was full of bladder. His body was full of pee and like blood pee. He couldn't push it out. So it was just gonna rupture. Like, he was literally going to die internally because he couldn't push out his own pee. And he couldn't take it out of him. He had to push it out himself, but he couldn't. Like, he physically could not push it out. So it was just gonna get a lot worse. He was just gonna die in a lot of pain. So at least this way he didn't have to die in a lot of pain. Trying to like compose myself. He was like, they relaxed him so he didn't feel anything, and he was just in our arms, and we were all just crying and saying our goodbyes and how much we're gonna miss him, until he just dozed off into a subconsciousness, and his heart stopped beating. And that's when it felt real, because it still didn't feel real that this was happening until his heart stopped and his eyes started glowing. It hurts so much to not know he's not here. To know that he's just another dog that died. I've had dogs in the past that passed away. But I never was this bad. I was sad. I was sad maybe for a while. I don't even remember because I was so young. But this time, I'm in my 20s and I got to spend me growing up from I was 17 to now about to be 23. He's gone. He's not even going to be there for my 23rd birthday. I didn't even get to celebrate his birthday. I wanted to get him a cake. That was another thing. I wanted to get him a cake for his birthday. It was in July. He was a Leo. He was a brave Leo. Such a good boy. I don't want to make this super long, but I just want to talk about a little bit of the cute things he used to do. So it took him a while to learn how to do paw, but he figured it out, and I think I have it in a vlog somewhere of me just trying to do paw with him. And that's another thing, that I'm so happy that I recorded him. I'm so happy that I have memories of him, and I wish I recorded more, honestly. Now that he's gone, I wish I did more. I wish I recorded every single day, because I don't want to forget those special moments. Those moments where he was just rubbing his head on the carpet and playing with his toys, or messing with my cat. And my cat messing with him. And my cat, in a way, he misses him, but I don't think he understands that he's gone, and it's not that he just stepped out, he's gone. But I think he does know, because he's been wanting to hang out in the living room a lot more than normal. And that's where my dog usually stayed, was in the living room, because it was a lot bigger than staying in my room. Because my room was really small, so he's mostly in the living room, but he does sometimes come here. In his last month of life, he really wanted to stay here, and so I did. For a while, I let him stay in my room, even if it was cramped, because I know he wanted to just spend time with me. And I should have known that there was something wrong, because he's a clingy dog. He was always a clingy dog, not super clingy to the point where we couldn't leave the house or he would get upset. More clingy, every time we were home, he just wanted to hang out with us and spend a lot of time with us. And I'm gonna miss those. But yeah, he was being more, and he wanted to, usually he's fine in the living room and he just sleeps or hangs out or does whatever. But he wanted to spend time with me, and so, and a week or it was I think a week or 2 weeks ago, I spent every other, not every other day, I spent a good 4 or 5 days sleeping in the living room, because I just wanted to spend time with Tommy, because he was not feeling well, and I knew he wasn't feeling well. And he wanted to cuddle on me, but he was in so much pain that he couldn't get comfortable on me anymore. And he literally got off himself, because he just couldn't sit properly on me. He couldn't lay on me. He loved naps. He loved sleeping. He loved anything that was slightly comfortable than the floor. He hated just sleeping on the floor. He would literally just he'll find anything that's fabric and lay on it, because I don't know, he's just a bougie dog. He just loved anything comfortable. When we first got him, the first thing he saw was a couch, and he jumped on the couch and passed out. I was like, oh, okay, are you used to being on a couch and sleeping on it? So he loved sleeping on the couch. It was so comfy. And that's why we got like little couch things. Like we got like these things that usually you put your feet on, but like they're huge, so he would sleep on those. Because he would get like he would shed and get his fur all over our couch and stuff like that. So we got him like his own separate couch. And now that couch is empty, and it just feels weird. Everything feels weird without him. I can't imagine a time without him there, and it's hard to imagine my future without him. I'm going off to college soon. I haven't announced that anywhere really, so this is the first place you guys are getting it. I'm going to college soon. And I remember being so worried about who's going to take care of Tommy while I'm in school, because I wanted to dorm. I don't know if I'm gonna dorm, but it was a idea, or I was gonna move out, and I was in my head, I was like, who's gonna like walk Tommy, because I was like the most responsible for Tommy. My parents helped out here and there when I couldn't do it, because I was like late at a job and stuff. And I was so worried, like, who's going to walk Tommy in the morning? Who's going to walk Tommy in the afternoon? And who's going to, like, do this if I'm gone? Because with Tiger, he's a lot easier because he's a lot tinier. He's a lot smaller. I can bring him in his little crate and bring him wherever. Tommy, he's a huge dog. He was really big. So it was a lot different to like take him everywhere. And most apartments don't even allow him. At least I could kind of sneak a cat. Tiger's pretty quiet. He doesn't make too much noise, even though he likes to run around. He doesn't make too much out noise, so it was easier if I had to sneak in a cat than it is just a dog that wants to protect and bark. He only barks when he feels like there's a threat, or he doesn't like somebody. He's not much of a barker, and that's what I loved about him. He wasn't obnoxious. He wasn't all over the place. He didn't really destroy anything. He was a very polite dog. I can leave my shoes unattended next to him for days. Not even a touch, not even a nibble on the shoe. Maybe in the beginning he like bit into a hat, but like after that he never like bit anything, and so he was just a great dog all around. And he was literally like a brother to me, because I don't have brothers. I only have sisters. So it really did feel like I had like a male companion, a male brother or whatever with me. And so it really did hurt. Like, the heartbreak was so real. And honestly, talking about this is making me feel so much better. You have no idea how much talking right now about my baby, because he is my baby. I spent so much like on him because I literally was trying to spoil him, because he's literally, and I wish I did more. I wish I was able to spend even more money on him. I wish I got him all the toys in the world. He loved his tire that had like a knot on it, like those like ropes. He always destroyed the ropes, but he never destroyed the tire. But he liked playing with the tire. He liked just chewing on it, but not breaking it. He couldn't really break it. So I still have his tire. And I'll keep his tire for as long as I possibly can, as memory of him. I actually have his collar on my bed, just hanging up there. And the freaking firefighters are outside. But I wish I brought him on the podcast, honestly. But it would have been weird to kind of. He's not very photogenic, which is why he wasn't always in my stuff. Is because every time I try to put the camera on him, he looks away, or like does not care for it. He does not like pictures and stuff. Tiger, he poses for the camera. He's like, "Hello, it's me." And I'm gonna be really sad when Tiger dies eventually, because obviously cats and dogs don't last long. But I know cats do live a pretty long life, and fingers crossed nothing happens to him in the near future. Like, I hope he lives for as long as he can possibly live for. I want my animals to grow old, and I really want him to grow old. I wanted to see him with gray hairs everywhere. He died only at 6 years old. He was only 6. He was going to turn 7 in July, but he was only 6 years old. He was so young. But his breed does get cancer. They usually get cancer at 5 years old. And I didn't know that. I didn't know that his breed is susceptible to cancer. Apparently, out of 10 dogs of his breed, one of them gets cancer. But, sorry, that was my boss texting me. But, yeah, I don't want to keep making this episode really long. I just wanted to kind of bring you guys to speed on what's been mainly the reason why I haven't did an episode or did anything, because I this year I really wanted to just make content like more consistently than I did last year, but I was kind of preoccupied with the new job and Tommy's well-being that I couldn't think of anything to do. Even though I was writing a film that I still want to do, but I just need time to like really grieve and try to figure out what to do now, and try to learn how to go on without my baby, and finding ways to honor him, because he deserves everything, even though he probably doesn't even know what the fuck is anything, and I don't know, but I hope my love, like, I hope he knows how much he was loved. And that's what breaks my heart, is because no matter how many times and how much I show him that I love him, I feel like it's not enough. I feel like he deserves more. And I'm gonna cry again. So please bear with me. I know there's people out there that is trying to start shit with me, but I don't care. Honestly, this may put so much perspective on my life and so much perspective on how I want my life to go. Even though I already had an idea and I already was making those steps, this really solidified any doubt I had. And it made me believe it made me really believe in spirituality, because I got my tarot cards read by actually one of my small little co-stars that we were in, because I was in a horror film of last Saturday, and I got my tarot read, and one of the cards was a death card, and I knew in a way that it was gonna be about Tommy, but it was more of something else, and I took it really literal, and clearly it was literal, because my dog died. He didn't know. I wasn't talking about it. I was actually like just awkward and whatever, and the fact that the death card was chosen, it really made me believe in tarot readings. And even though I always believed in tarot readings, but like this really like drove home that point, and spirituality and everything else, and I would love to learn how to tarot card read. And there's just a lot in my life that made me spiritual, and I do believe that Tommy will either reincarnate as another animal if I somehow decide I want another animal. Right now I can't think of that. I'm like, I don't want ever another dog. because I don't want to ever go through this again, and I already have to with my cat. So, like, why would I want a dog? Anyways, I keep making this long, and I was supposed to leave like 5 minutes ago. So, thank you guys for listening. I hope you guys understand what I'm going through. If you don't, it's fine. Or if you think I'm just being ridiculous, it's just a dog. Whatever to you, but he wasn't just a dog to me. And I'm going to honor him, and I'm literally gonna get a tattoo of him, like either his face or his name with like his collar shape, because it was a shape of a bone. I'll get that with him. So yeah, anyways, I'll see you guys when I see you, I guess. And Kazoon tight.